So, so Democrats are searching for their presidential candidate for 2028. And both sides of the aisle are giving their predictions. Watch.
The leading Democrat for 28. I think it's got to be AOC.
What's your response to that? I mean, you know, I hope he is. That's what I'll say.
Bernie Sanders will be extremely old by the end of his term if he does run and win. But there's some theories about how he could finesse that. He's got a ton of energy. He's not a normal 80-something. Now, having had two 80-something presidents, the country's not really in the mood for someone that old. But as a force to win the nomination, I believe he's extremely strong.
You know, you want somebody who follows the Constitution, not somebody who wrote it. I could talk. He's the same age as me, and I would not run for president. I don't have the energy to do such a job like that.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like...
Neither does Trump. Hasn't stopped him.
No, because, no, it's not... It's not that. I have the energy, actually, but I don't have the desire.
Yeah.
You can't go through life with the same level of ambition that you had when you were 30 years old.
Right.
Our best presidents, I mean, here the Barack Obama was 47, Ulysses S. Grant, 46. Bill Clinton, 46. John Kennedy, 43. Theodore Roosevelt, 42. Okay? LBJ was 51. Clinton, 46. FDR, 51.
Yeah.
Between 30 and 60, those are the wonder years to run for president. We love Bernie. I mean, I think he's a great senator, but come on.
Well, and no reference to what condition Bernie Sanders is in. I think the best take on this is you just can't sell this right now to the country. With the President Biden debacle followed by what we're witnessing with President Trump, the country needs to be excited. They need to be hopeful. They need to be unified. Someone needs to inspire them. That kind of pitch of like, we're going to put out Bernie Sanders, and no shade against him personally, I don't necessarily agree with him with his policies, but it's not just him personally. It's the country has gone through this twice, and I think we're done. Like,
what was the other one, Reagan?
No, I'm saying that on the heels of President Biden and now President Trump, to put up Bernie Sanders will be 86 when he runs. Like,
right, and 90 when he's done.
Yeah. Okay, I just think it's not personally against how that age matches, because everyone looks different, acts different, has different energy levels, but the country has been deeply disappointed. And I think we need a unifying spirit come together, someone who inspires, and I just don't think that's going to come.
Funny though, ironically, Bernie Sanders, who's been barnstorming the country, doing a lot of campaign events, a lot of them with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, actually does energize, does inspire, does mobilize voters out. But let's also consider the source. Bernie Sanders is not saying he's running. Nobody's putting Bernie Sanders out. I do think that Bernie Sanders is going to have a role. I think he's going, he's very influential. He's going to put his finger on the scale, but I don't expect him to run. I think his policies are more relevant now than ever before, because we are experiencing this affordability crisis. We need our healthcare to be better. We need our schools to be better. We have the erasure of history going on. So I think that the platform that he has always, put forward is very attractive to Gen Z, younger voters, and quite frankly relevant, because it's Medicare for all, housing as a human right, justice for workers and small businesses, elevate public education, Green New Deal, women's rights, support LGBTQ+ rights. I mean, I think this platform is the Democratic platform to move forward.
But that list that you just gave, the right wing at the moment is calling that communism. Well, basically.
Well, it's not.
I mean, you do have to break it down beyond a platitude. What does housing for all mean? I don't want to see anyone unhoused either. But does that mean
protect current occupants, repair public housing, and build affordable housing?
Well, yeah, that's the bipartisan housing bill that Republicans and Democrats voted for, and our president just needs to sign into law. Listen, I think that Bernie Sanders will absolutely have a force within who is chosen to ultimately be the nominee. Right now, we're seeing it. These DSA, these Democratic Socialist candidates, are very much where the energy of the Democratic base is. But there are downsides to that. What happens is when you have some of these far-left politicians meddling in and kind of getting involved in primaries, you have what happened with Graham Plattner. You have somebody who may energize people but isn't properly vetted, didn't go through a full process. So I think there's a place where he can influence the discussion perhaps around affordability and taking on billionaires. But my hot take of the moment is the most likely person to be the Democratic nominee is Kamala Harris. In every poll, she is still, it's usually her and Gavin Newsom neck and neck.
I have a list here.
She's usually ahead. If I may just finish.
I have a better list.
She is usually ahead.
I love her. She was great, but she didn't win one time. What makes you think she's going to win again?
I find it hard to believe that based on the money she raised, the name ID she has, and I don't think the party would pass over her for a generic white man.
I like John Ossoff. He's 39 years old.
Yeah.
I like Josh Shapiro, 53 years old.
I love Josh
Gavin
Shapiro.
Newsom, 58.
That's the problem.
And J.B. Pritzker, 61.
What about
Those
Pete
are
Buttigieg? What about Pete Buttigieg? Wes Moore? There are some people that are just like...
Wes Moore is good.
Wes Moore is phenomenal. And this is one of the things I love about him.
We all love Buttigieg. Are they going to vote for a gay guy?
I am not going to break the party
country
down based on they won't vote for gay white women. I think the identity reduces the charisma of the character, the person in front of us.
You're not in reality.
No, I
don't think that's reality.
Guess what?
That isn't reality.
I wish that's what we did.
I wish people were sitting around when
about.
President Obama won and said, "We're so ready for a black president." No, he blew it out of the park, and everyone was like, "And there we go."
Yeah, and you know what?
You show
and after
them what they're
President
ready
Obama,
for.
you know what we got? We got Trump. We got a white lash against a black president. That's what we got.
Yeah, you know what?
And this country, I wish this country, after 250 years, were beyond identity, but we are not. And we need to be realistic. And as a Democratic,
great candidate.
as a Democratic Party, we need to win. We need to get this country back.
There's not going to be one great candidate. I think you're going to see in the Democratic nomination, I think you're going to see on the stage 10, 12, 15 great candidates, and the people are going to get to vote. I think you are going to see a gay man. I think you are going to see a black woman. I think you are going to see
But
J.B.
who's going to
Pritzker.
win is the question.
Well, they're going to duke it out. The one who runs the best
but
campaign and
you
who
guys, I don't know.
energizes the voters.
Maybe I'm too old at this point for this conversation, but I've been watching this country for a long time, and you've got to be in reality. This past few years that Trump has been in office, he's practically destroying democracy.
Yeah.
This is an emergency we're in.
Correct.
We can't play around.
Obama gave Democrats the playbook for how to win. There was a moment when Republicans thought we may never win a national election again because he got the working class together. He got black voters. He was able to bring a coalition that looked undefeatable.
Who's that?
But Barack Obama. The problem is Democrats have lost working class voters. They need somebody who could speak to bringing that constituency back. And what it is, this is where I warn about Bernie, it is not going ultra far left on social issues. It's talking about affordability. It's having actual proposals that can get through Congress
Do you really think
and change
that
people's lives.
John Ossoff and Josh Shapiro and Gavin and Pritzker are not for all of those things?
No,
they
I'm
are
not
for
She's saying the
healthcare.
leaning.
I'm talking about the Bernie Sanders wing of the party.
But
Those are all great
Joy,
candidates.
I'm saying that
Joy,
these people-
I hate it when I hear you say that it's got to be like a white man, because I then feel that it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I don't
I'm
want.
not that powerful, Anna.
No, yeah, but you've got you know, millions of people watch us on a daily basis, and you are a feminist. You have fought to break glass ceilings.
She's also a realist.
I know, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to tell little black children or little Latino children or little girls that they can't run and become president one day.
And by the way, in all likelihood,
Can I defend myself?
100% agree with that.
but then can I say something after?
I am not saying that. I am saying that we are in a burning building right now. That's all I'm saying.
That only a white man can save us from?
I'm talking about winning. What is this country going to do
what
when
is
they
this country
really get down
prepared
to
for?
it?
And by the way, I do
That's
think
all.
today
The future, it belongs to every child, every color, every nationality. Great.
But what you're
And
saying is
and
what?
do
That the only
consider-
people that can save us from the burning building is a white man?
Do
That's
consider,
only a white man
too,
can get
that
elected.
we're not running against Donald Trump in the next election, and I think the most likely Republican candidate is Marco Rubio, a Cuban-American. So keep that in mind, too.
Oh, he's forgotten he's
Or
Latino,
J.D.
not
Vance.
saying a damn thing while people getting deported.
I mean, if you put up Obama again, the argument is moot. But you know, you're going to have to get somebody that good.
Well, he served 2 terms, and Obama's living his best life.
Yeah, have you seen him lately? He looks great.
They're happy.
They're very happy. The Obamas
They're
are living
rich
their
and
best
happy and
lives.
doing what they want.
I don't know.
Summer house.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about this, but I feel as though, again,